Now normally when I'm making drawers I like to use solid 3/4 inch cherry. I usually mill it down to 5/8 thick, and that's a really ideal size for drawers. However, when I get into more than 2 or 3 drawers, that is kind of impractical, so then I use faced plywood, as I'm doing here. Now the problem with plywood is use a good quality plywood, faced plywood. I sometimes use oak or whatever. But the problems with using plywood is in various areas, 3 areas actually, you get the lamination showing, and you don't really want that. It shows in 3 areas. It shows in the bottom, it shows on the sides, and it shows on the top. But these can all be eliminated. The first thing to remember is that when you open the drawer, if your plywood is oriented this way, you will. This is the door coming this way. You will see this lamination here, which is not ideal. So what you do is you always do that. Put that on the overlap the side walls to the front and rear walls. That way, when the drawers open, you see this space here, and that way it's the laminations are eliminated. Now the other areas in the top, you will always see the laminations on the top, which is unsightly. And what I do there is usually I strip off this 1/16 on table saw, and I fit that on and glue it on and sand it, so it's nice and nicely finished. Also, what I do is at the front, I miter this veneered strip, because that will be seen when the drawers open. Don't have to, but that's what I prefer. At the rear, it's just a butt joint at the rear. It doesn't really matter because you'll never see that. And the third thing is that the bottom. If you attach the bottom directly to the side walls and front and rear walls, the lamination will again show. So what you do there is you do a recessed or a cut off portion here, which fits into, and that again the veneer is the laminations are eliminated. Now I do this. You can do this in the table saw, but I do it on the router, and I use a straight carbide tipped bit. And don't attempt to do it this way. It won't work very well. What you do is I do it flat on the surface and do it this way. And you need to take about 3 or 4 passes to get to the final cut. And of course you want it, this is 1/2 inch plywood, you want a 1/2 inch depth, just slightly more than 1/2 inch, so that you can trim it off and face it. So we're going to use 5/16 dowels on this 1/2 inch wood, which sounds large, but it's not, it's fine. And I'll do a demonstration of that it will be a face joint and an edge joint. So let's get started. Now this plywood is 1/2 inch thick, and since we're using 5/16 dowels, we've got to be exactly in the centre of the 1/2 inch wood. Now remember the formula: 1/2 inch halved is 1/4, minus 3/8 is minus 1/8. So rather than expand the device, we have to shrink it. So we have to shrink it by 1/8 of an inch. So we attach with these 2 screws, we attach this 1/8 of an inch spacer to the reference bracket. And that will put us right in the centre. So now we've got our check marks here and here, or reference marks. I've got 2 and 2, so that goes 2 and 2 onto here. So we set it on. Bring it up to the edge here. And tighten. Now, I'm going to drill 2, 3, 4 and 5 in this particular case. That's a bit overkill, but it doesn't really matter. You could probably do 2 and 5 and that would be sufficient, or 3, whatever. But it doesn't take that much longer. Now, you recall that this is a face joint, so in order to avoid cutting the dowels, I'm going to go in deeper into the edge, and less into the face of the joint so we don't penetrate and go through. So we're going to drill 2, 3, 4 and 5. These are already drilled, but it's so accurate. We're not going to take any more material out. And that's that one finished. Now, the next joint we're doing, number 2, is we're going to be drilling into the face of the wood. So we can't use Dowelmax in its normal configuration. It just won't work. So what we have to do there is, we take this clamp bracket completely off using these 2 brass knobs here, take it off, and we attach it to the underside of the reference block, and that way we finish up with Dowelmax in this configuration. Still with the 1/8 of an inch spacer, you must always have that, the same spacer you used on the previous one. And now we can drill into the face of the wood. We have number 2 here. Now once again we've got the check marks, 2 and 2. So we put it onto this. Now we have to use a backing piece here to avoid hitting the spacer with the face joint. So we just set that. Tighten up. And now we do exactly the same as we did for the other one. We're going to drill 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now obviously we need to adjust the collar so that we don't go through the plywood with the face joint. So I've already done that. So we drill 2, 3, 5. And that's it complete. Now when it comes to drawer slides, you can of course buy the metal rails, but it's not my preference. I prefer slides constructed of wood. So I've been trying for years to find a really good system, and a few years ago I came up with this design, and I've been really happy with it, so I've kept using it. Now these 2 tracks here are 3/8 by 1.5 inch, and they're doweled into the front rail, which is here, and the rear rail, which is here. Now you've heard me talk about designing the rear of the chest the same as the front, and this has to be because of this design. This is the front rail here, and this is the rear rail, and as far as width and height, they're exactly the same. This design incorporates a T-section piece of wood, which I buy from Richelieu, and it's worked out really well. It's very, very stable and very good quality wood. And I cut it into, well, you've got to work out the length you want. This is 4 inches, and that's where it's ideal. And this, of course, slots under here, and it rides back and forward. And the beauty, there's a various pluses for this design, is that you've got a forward stop, you've got a rear stop, and the additional thing is that when the drawer is fully open, it won't drop, so, which is a really good feature. Plus, you get a really good, when you've got some silicone on this, it's a really silky, smooth finish. And this I have 3 screws here which screw up into the bottom. The drawer sits here and screws up into the bottom of the drawer, and it's a very good system. Now, if you want to see details of how to do this very precisely, go to YouTube, Dowelmax drawer slides, and you'll find a detailed description. Now, one of the last jobs is prep, stain and refinishing. And I like to do that before assembly and gluing of the entire chest. Now this is one of the 2 end panels, the raised panel section for the table, and it needs its cherry, but it needs some preparation. So I used to use a mixture of shellac and methyl hydrate in a proportion 1:4, 1 of shellac, and I was really pleased with that. But it takes a bit of trouble. So I'm now using this Wax conditioner, which is okay, a wee bit more viscous than I would like, but it's okay. It saves some time and effort. Also, I'll leave that overnight, and then for the staining, I use dark walnut and espresso. This is because I would like to use just the dark walnut, but it's too with the prep on it. It doesn't go really dark brown, and it's kind of light brown, and it's not quite right. So I add in 4 parts of dark walnut to 1 part espresso, which is a very dark, almost black stain. And so that's the basic for that. So let's get started. Now there are 10 dowel holes in each one of these end panels. So these are blocked off with the painter's tape. I just don't want any oily residue getting into the bores, which constitute a good piece of the strength of the joint. Now I use a small cheap brush to get into the recesses and edges. This is difficult to do with a piece of cloth, or this just works just as well. Now once we get into it, once we get these done, always work with the grain. And these are sanded down to 220, and then I use a very fine steel wool to finish it off. You don't have to be too sparing with this, but you don't want pulling either. And as I say, you keep going with the grain. As I said before, this is a bit more viscous than I would like, but as I said, it seems to work really quite well. A wee bit more on the end grain, and I do use the fine steel wool on the end grain. It seems to make a difference too. And make sure there's no pulling. Make sure you go with the grain. And then and also make sure you rub it in and remove the excess. There's some excess in the little recess there. And I've already done the back end, so do both faces. And that's that finished. Leave overnight and then apply the stain. Once the staining is finished and you've removed the excess and rubbed it well in, I usually leave it overnight to dry. I don't have a spray booth, so the next best thing is, in my opinion, is Wax semi-gloss polyurethane. It really gives a nice lustrous finish, and I usually give it maybe 2 to 3 coats, and you'll be really pleased with that.